Hey Facebook, how are you all? I hope you're well. My name is Elsa Morgan, also known as hashtag Coach Queenie, coming to you live from Noosaville in Queensland. Happy Friday if you're here in Australia. Happy Thursday night or Thursday if you're on the other side of the world. I hope you're having a fantastic week. It's definitely been a life-changing week for me. There's been so many breakthroughs. I've had a week of breakthroughs, guys. And so for me, I'm currently going through a level up period, and I'm really excited about some of the changes that are coming into the Morgan household that I'll be sharing with you over the coming weeks. How are you, Arlene? I hope you're all well and having a great week. Joe, how are you, my girl? I hope you're doing well as well. So guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about getting unstuck, because I've been hearing a lot about getting unstuck. How do I get unstuck? People feeling like they're not moving anywhere, even though they're doing the work. They feel like there's no movement at all in their journey. And I really want to address this because, you know, this is something that is becoming a bit of a topic. And you know, as someone that coaches people, and I'm also a leader of an organization, I've gone through this process myself. I've gone through this mindset shift, and it's really important for you to understand that, you know, this is something that is just a mindset thing, right? So, but before I get started, grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to talk to you about some strategies that you can put in place to help you change your perspective on your whole journey. But I do also want to talk to you a little bit about judgment, because you know, I think something that you need to understand is that everyone's going through something. You know, everyone is going through something, some challenge, some aspect, some change in their life, and it's always important that as just a human being, just to be mindful about judging people, right? This is a lesson I've had to learn. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and so I'm sharing with you stuff that I come across every single day. It would be inauthentic of me to not share with you the stuff that I go through, because I want to inspire people to show you guys, hey, I go through stuff too, and I'm normal. You know, like I'm a wife, I'm a mum of 2 young children. You know, I've had to work through a lot of ish. You know, I've had some major ego stuff to break down, and limiting beliefs, and I'm still working through a lot of stuff. I'm human, but you know, it hasn't stopped me from actually pursuing my vision, and you know, to be able to better myself and help people. But I also want you to know that as I'm learning and as I'm taking on the learnings, I also want to share that with you as well. Now, just to take you a little bit back, you know, once upon a time, I was that person that was judgmental. I was that person that would look at someone and say, look at her, look at what she's wearing, or look at her, look how she's talking, you know, or oh, look at her, you know, like, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on the women, but that's, you know, I was one of those mean girls, you know the mean girls in high school, you know, and you've got your little clique, and you're just like looking over your shoulder going like that. I wasn't like that in high school, by the way. I wasn't one of the popular people, but as I grew into an adult, I became one of those people. And I don't know necessarily if it was because of the people that I surrounded myself with. It could be, could not. I don't know whether it was that type of conditioning, but I certainly was that person. And let me tell you, it was purely because, now on reflection, that it was because, you know, I saw something in them that I didn't see in myself, or I saw in myself that, you know, something negative, right? But back then I didn't recognize that. I just saw it as, you know, like I'm putting someone down and to make myself feel good, right? And so I just want you all to be mindful that when you're actually casting judgment on someone, or you're making comment about someone's journey, you are actually projecting something within you, right? And it's super important that you take that into effect, because everyone is going through stuff. Like I'm going through some personal challenges myself, that, you know, all will reveal itself in time, you know, when I'm ready. And I just want you to know that casting judgment on someone is, firstly, it's a lack of, it actually shows some insecurity on your part, but also shows that you are projecting that as well, right? So always be mindful that if someone appears to be behaving in a certain way that maybe triggers you, stop and think about that before you cast judgment. What is that teaching you right now? Like, why are you feeling this way? What has triggered within you for you to actually feel this way, right? Because it's very easy to point fingers and make comment and ridicule people because we look good and we feel good, right? But, really, it just shows that the kind of individual that you are. And when people judge other people, you're not coming from a space of heart. I mean, seriously, I've had to change a lot internally to become even the person that I am today, even though I'm nowhere near where I'm going to be. I'm nowhere near the person I want to be, because I just literally want to give my love to everybody. Like, I really want to help a lot of people. I want to help, I want to support. And I know that I've had to deal with a lot of stuff internally, break down a lot of limiting beliefs and self-worth issues to even get to where I am today. Like stuff that I haven't spoken about because I felt that I wasn't ready, or people just wouldn't be interested to hear what I had to say. But it's time for me to really speak up about this sort of stuff, because this sort of stuff hurts people. This sort of stuff can really trigger people to, if people don't have a strong mindset and you project some negativity to someone, just be mindful that could trigger someone to do something, and you need to be aware of that some people are not mentally strong. And us as humans, if you're someone coming from a space of good, you can't do that to someone. Who are you to be judging people? Who are you to actually make comment on someone's journey? Like, no one has the right to judge anyone. And so I just wanted to talk about that because, it fascinates me. It fascinates me how people come across on social media like they're all heart-centered and, they want to give out love and, all of that sort of stuff. And yet behind closed doors, it's a different story. If you want to be authentic and really genuinely help people, love everybody no matter what and support them, not cast judgment, So there's my rant for the morning. And so guys, I really want to help a lot of people this year, and I'm going to start doing, more and more lives. I'm going to be tapping into other mediums to be able to help more people as well, to increase my reach and to be able to talk about different strategies that have helped me to get to where I am today and the sorts of things that I'm working on to help me propel me even further. And so I want to talk to you about this whole notion about getting stuck. Now, for me, I've worked a lot on this because earlier on in working in network marketing, while I was working especially full-time in my corporate career, there were many times where I felt stuck, right? And for me personally, I actually don't feel like people get stuck, to be quite honest. I just think it's people setting unrealistic expectations, right? You're setting unrealistic expectations and putting too much pressure on yourself to actually get the job done. And when it's when you're not hitting that goal, you're thinking, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing. I'm doing something wrong. And you keep switching and switching and switching and switching. I'll try this thing today and I'll try this thing tomorrow and I'll try that thing tomorrow and I'll try that thing tomorrow, because you're not where you want to be. But really, you just need to be patient and you need to actually apply yourself and, embrace the growth, embrace the journey, take on the learnings and apply your learnings every single day, right? That's the whole process of change. That's the whole process of actually achieving your goals, right? But so many people set unrealistic goals and either don't do the work every single day, right? And don't have that aren't self-aware and don't really make an honest assessment of their commitment to the journey and think, I'm stuck, I'm not getting anywhere, but really they're not 100% committed. Or secondly, they are setting goals that are where they're just not ready in that period of time. Either they're not doing the work to actually get them to that goal, or they're just not ready, from a personal development perspective to actually achieve that goal either. You just have to be patient. I find too many people are too impatient with their journey, and then they don't hit where they want to go, and they go, right, that's not working, I'm going to do this now. And then they'll try that for about a week, and that they don't get a result. Then, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do that now. And now, of course, you're not going to move. If you don't stick to something for more than 5 minutes, of course you're not going to get to a result. You have to be committed to the process. So many people in my profession want life-changing income, but they don't want to make life-changing habits. They don't want to establish life-changing habits. They want that life-changing income, but they don't want to make that life-changing commitment to actually change their life. They want that instant success. And this is all because of our social media conditioning. So number one, my number one advice to you to be able to help you to change your whole perspective on you being stuck, because I don't believe people get stuck. I just think that you are too impatient. And that's what creates this overwhelm or anxiety around your journey and where you are, right? So I just believe, number one, revisit why you're doing this. Like, why is it that you are on this journey? Like for me, network marketing was for me an opportunity for one, was a weight loss opportunity at the time. And number two, to create some extra income. Like eventually I saw the income potential and I wanted to earn an extra $500. That was enormous for us as a family because we had just had our son, right? And so, that's where it started. But then I saw the bigger picture of how it could totally change the game for me, and I could really become that servant leader to help the masses. And this is what I'm working towards, to become that selfless servant leader that's going to be able to help thousands of people to transform their lives, whether physically or financially, right? And that's been a process for me. Yes, it's okay to put pressure on yourself. Yes, it's okay to be able to, lift your game and the intensity at times, right? You can be blissfully dissatisfied. Like you can be dissatisfied where you're at to propel you to do more, take inspired action. But don't feel like, hey, this isn't working because I tried this for 1 week and it doesn't work and hasn't yielded the results, so I'll go and do something else. Have it, do a self-check and have a realistic chat with yourself and say, hey, do I want that life-changing income? Because if that is the case, then I need to make life-changing habits that I do for more than 1 day. You've got to do it for more than 1 day. How about trying it for 5 years? How about sticking to something for 5 to 10 years that's going to change your life forever? Forever. What about 5 to 10 years of solid focus and commitment to be able to change the financial blueprint of your family, of your children, of your children's children? And how about your organization and their families and their families' families? How about you taking yourself out of the equation and not making it about you and actually doing it because of other people, right? So that's number one. Revisit why it is that you're doing it. And that could give you some perspective as to, hey, I might be playing small here, that maybe I need to get real and actually apply myself properly and treat it like a business and treat it like I'm being real rather than just treating it like I'm an amateur, because amateurs will drop out after a week. Professionals will stick to it until they get there. They understand that there's a process of growth involved. So have a self-check and revisit your vision. Number two, like instantly a way that you can feel like you want to get some, a change in your whole perspective, a change in your mood, a change in your mindset is move, change your state, right? What I do is I actually listen to some music, I close my eyes and I just dance. And I really do dance like nobody's watching, right? And, I just basically dance to my favorite music. Like at the moment I'm listening like to Taylor Swift, Shake It Off and Raise Your Glass by Pink, and just songs that really raise your vibration and change your state. Move, you know. And scientifically, it is actually proven that by you actually changing your state for more than 2 minutes, you are actually more than likely to take a risk by 33%, right? So if you commit to just getting out of the state that you're in, get up off the couch, get out of this, you know, wherever you are right now, and just move, go for a walk, you know, dance, close your eyes, whatever it is going to raise your vibration, you will actually be more than likely to do something by by 33% chance of you doing it more than you not doing it, right? So that's number 2. Number 3, why don't you just be kind to yourself and start with some small changes? You know, set yourself some small goals. You know, Ed Milet constantly talks about the fact that momentum is a sum of small wins. And I have experienced this myself. Whenever I feel like I just need to change my focus, you know, because sometimes it is quite possible to get into your head. Change your focus and actually set yourself small goals. Doesn't even have to be related to your business. It could be related to life. It could be about even you just, taking 30 minutes walk every single day, and you've done that, tick. You've done the washing for the week, tick. You've actually drunk a liter of water today, tick. Little goals that are going to help you to just celebrate the fact that, hey, you're doing stuff. You know, 98% of people aren't doing anything and just settle. So why don't you be the 2% that actually do something, right? And it doesn't have to be life-changing. It could be life-changing for you. For some people, getting out of bed is life-changing. So just take some perspective and just take a step back and just realize that, just set yourself some small goals, you know, win them all. And you're going to start getting some momentum going. You start getting momentum in some areas of your life, your energy is going to flow into other areas of your life. Trust me, I set myself a goal of 3 Facebook Lives this week, and this is my 3rd one. You bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be celebrating, right? Because I had to schedule this in. I had to make time. I'm busy as hell. If you were to look at my calendar, your eyes would bleed. So for me to be able to do this is a huge win for me. But I'm committed to my vision, and I'm committed to actually make some meaningful change in people's lives. So I'm taking myself out of the equation and making it happen. And so should you. It is totally possible, guys, right? Stop making excuses and stop giving yourself a break. Like, if you really want to change your life, let's get real here. Stop letting yourself off the hook and be real. Like, seriously, keep yourself accountable. How can you possibly change your life if you can't even commit to yourself and make a contract with yourself and keep it? Like, seriously, that does not work. 50% is not good enough. 70% is not good enough. You have to be 100% committed if you really want to change your life forever. So just, you know, set yourself some small goals and just get it done. And number 4 is, you know, for me, is really tap into some new resources. Whenever I feel like I need this breakthrough to happen, right, is I change personal development. I look at what is it that I'm looking at, and I actually type Google or go into the podcast app and see who's addressing that right now. Like, who is it that's talking about that right now? And I will read up on that. Right now, I'm obsessed with EQ, like emotional quotient, because, you know, for me, I'm really, really obsessed with actually, you know, like impacting the masses. And I know I have to get my ish together to actually do more. I'm prepared to be transparent with you guys and tell you that, hey, in order to impact more people, I've got to get myself right first. But I'm prepared to do that. So I'm just obsessed with all resources, personal development books around becoming that better leader, right? So I'm reading everything to do with leadership. I'm tapping into training to do with that. I'm forever like, tapping into my mentors and asking them questions. What did you do? How did that work? What are you doing different? Because I'm not letting myself off the hook. I don't care how uncomfortable it gets. I'm prepared to do the work. And yes, leveling up, you're going to feel like sometimes that there's a fly there and it just distracted me for a minute. There's going to be some times where you're feeling like you're just showing up day after day after day after day after day, and there's nothing happening. But this is where you're wrong. And this is where I think that people say, I'm stuck. You're not stuck, right? If you do the work today, aren't you better than yesterday because you did one more day? Change your perspective. Just because you're not seeing a tangible physical result does not mean that you have not grown. You are becoming that person to get that result, and you need to just change your perspective on what it means to actually, move and actually change your life forever. Some people are just too impatient with wanting to have, life-changing results, and yet they can't even commit for 1 day, 1 week, 30 days. Like, I can tell you, 80% of people that set New Year's resolutions at the start of this year, right, would have already quit, right? It is true. It's a hardcore fact. And then people wonder why they don't get to their goals. And they look at people like me who's obsessed with achieving, goals and to be able to help people on a bigger scale. And they think of me as a weirdo. I think it's weird that you set goals and you don't go after it. What's the point? What's the point in setting a goal if you're not even going to stick with it, right? So if things don't appear like they're working for you, change your perspective. You're doing more than 98% of the population. That's number one. Number two, if you're showing up every single day, hey Steph, thanks for showing up. If you're showing up every single day, you're doing more than yesterday. And if you show up tomorrow, you're doing more than yesterday again and again and again and again. And that means you're more likely to stick to the journey. And guess what? You're doing more than 98% of the population. You're becoming that person that's going to achieve the result. And let me tell you, every single day that you show up, it compounds. And let me tell you, when you understand the science behind compound and the compounding effect, activity, and consistent activity showing up every single day with intensity, you're going to have massive results over time. But people often fall short because they lose patience, that they don't see the result, and they'll change. Oh, this doesn't work, so I'm going to change it after 5 days. This doesn't work because after 10 days it didn't work. Life-changing results don't happen after 5 days or 10 days. Let's get real. Like, seriously, it takes 9 months to create a baby, right? So can you commit to 9 months? Can you commit to a year? Can you commit to 5 years that will change potentially your financial blueprint forever for your family and legacies and generations? Because I can tell you right now, so many people don't even give it 5 minutes. They don't give it 5 minutes. And yet they come to me and say, I feel stuck. Like, seriously, have that honest conversation with yourself. You're not stuck. You're just not committed. You just need to go back and revisit why you actually started this. And if you really want to have life-changing results wherever it is in your life, but especially if you're in my profession of network marketing, direct sales, you need to have that self-talk to realize that these gastronomical results that you think are going to happen after 30 days aren't real. There's a lot of people that generate, lots and lots of income claims and things like that, but there's a lot of sacrifices that are made. Are you prepared to make those sacrifices? Are you prepared to have years and years of commitment to have that result? You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know the sacrifices that they've had to make, those wall-banging moments that they've had to experience every single night. You don't know the breakdown of limiting beliefs that they've had to, break down, that they've had to experience to become the person to achieve those results. So many people just see the glossiness and go, I want to do that too. And then if they don't achieve it in 30 days, they come to me and say, I'm stuck. You're not stuck. You're just not being real. You're just not being committed. Like, seriously, you just have unrealistic expectations and you need to do the work, whatever that requires. And for some people, it's going to be 5 years. For other people, it's going to be 10 years. And it all depends on your level of commitment. It all depends on how much work you're prepared to do. And it also depends on the sacrifices you're prepared to make. So guys, I hope this helps you. I hope this inspires you to understand that you are not stuck. You just need to change your perspective. And every single day that you show up, you're doing better than yesterday, and you are better than yesterday. So cut yourself some slack and just keep going out and helping people and just being a good human and come from a space of love. Guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm super excited to be coming out with you some big announcements in the next few weeks, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.